Hello and welcome back to our continuing adventures in the Let's Defend platform. Today we are going to tackle the October 28th, 2021, 9:55 a.m. SOC158 hijacked NPM package. EventID is 108, type is malware. So it looks like we are dealing with the system named NodeServer, related package ua-parser-js, suspicious file jsextension.exe, running from C program files nodejs, node_modules, npm, node_modules, us-parser-us, or js. We got a hash, and L1 note. Everything looks legit when I do the checks. ua-parser-js has been downloaded from its official site. I couldn't understand what is the problem. So apparently we got some sort of detection. So the very first thing we're going to do is go ahead and grab that hash. Because, I mean, they were so kind as just giving it to us. Let's see. Grab one of these, and we'll run it through. xmrig.exe. Not really JS extension, huh? Well, okay then. It is a coin miner. Okay. Not really the most malicious thing in existence, but I gotta imagine that's not intended to be from a default package. Then again, if this was not a just spelled out in the rule, hijacked NPM package, kind of know something's going on. Interesting. Okay, well, let's take a look then. So let's see. Oh, nothing in the mailbox. At least nothing that comes into play for the 28th. We will have. So when's the next thing? So in relatively after this, one more video for the Karma ransomware attack. And so apparently it's going to play a role somewhere in the Zbot application detected. Okay, well, that's fine. Let's see. Show me anything doing with our system node server. So 192.168.10.56. We got a 55. Nothing for October 28th. Okay, so we have no network traffic whatsoever. At least it's been caught by the perimeter. Maybe this is something that is maybe in a DMZ or is actually just straight out outside the organization. Maybe. So there's NodeServer. So what do we have? Browser history. And yeah, it's the correct search, 28.10.2021. So let's see, we have a hit to Google, Kaggle, regression with Keras, banglai-django.com with a bunch of, is that URL encoding? So it's just these two entries then? Let's see, and the event is 9:55 a.m., so that, so that's 09:55. This is well after, this is well after. Okay, so browser is not going to tell us anything. Command history. Oh, we got a whole section. So at some particular point we have npm install ua-parser-js. Command to run preinstall.js. Node preinstall js.js. And we get 09:56, so now 1 minute into the process. Not technically, all these were 1 minute into the process. We're running the preinstall.bat. We have then 20 seconds after that, cert-util, calling out to citation citation sherby.at/sdd.dll to make create.dll. And we have curl being fired to pull down from 159, 148, 186, 228, pulls down the jsextension.exe that caused the flag or the alert. And then this is the following day. So that's going to be extremely significant. So we'll grab that, move that over, dump it into the notes off screen. I mean, realistically, that tells us the entire story right there. So they went through, they actually used NPM to go through. That's what, Node Package Manager, to install the ua-parser-js. It pulled everything like it was supposed to, then it kicked off a pre-install.bat, which seemed to have extra commands in it. Network connection. So we have a 216. We had what? We had Google and then a different. So what's this? All right, so that's our Google. And we have a 142.0.128.243. Okay, let's take a look at that. And this tells us what? Oh wait, that's OTX. Now this is probably the hit to the Banglai-Django. China. Reverse DNS for that IP address. eylev.line4ab.net. How many of these items? 100 and... Oh, geez. But if I start typing out... Oh, okay. Banglai-Django. Okay, so that is an item that's there at least passively, but nothing that speaks out from either IP address, although I don't like anything calling back to China myself, but we do have a web browser history log that corresponds with that. Process list. Anything here that looks odd? I mean, I'm not a fan of seeing any desk, especially if it's not licensed for the organization. And we already have that in the command history, node install. Of course, it's technically npm space install space ua-parser.js or -js, but nothing else here really seems to stand out. So I'm assuming that we don't have anything. Okay, well, let's just kind of poke around a bit. Let's start at the box. I mean, some way, shape, or form. I'm going to assume that because it's hijacked NPM package, this was another instance where a developer got their account popped and malicious code was inserted into a project. But where's the... Okay, we got a bunch of community things here. What do we have? Cato, 3 months ago. Integer, analyze, has actually got an item in here. Malware _I_hate_u. All right then, I can get behind that. Oh. So let's go ahead and open up a new tab. Oh! Blocked. Well, donuts. Oh, the AV on the system does not want to allow this thing to go. But this is still going, so let me go ahead and pause it. Okay, this is still going. Let's see. So I managed to find, which I think is something to tie into this, Sophos. Hijacked package delivers coin miner and credential stealing backdoor. A hacked NPM account was used to deliver Linux and Windows Monero miners and Windows credential stealing malware with the popular nodejs library. So this was rolled out, or at least this article, November 24th. Apparently the hijack must have been, so yeah, October 22nd. So this is 6 days after the event occurred. Hello. Okay, so the detection of the rig miner, JS extension, and we've got a snippet of code here that corresponds. This the 159 is what we see. Yeah, this is exactly it. There's the curl aspect. The only thing we're missing is before that certutil command to go through and pull stuff. But apparently they fired, yeah, okay. It's always so weird to go back and be doing these things so long after these events occurred. But, hey, all right. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to connect to a new one. And this is, I'm recording this after Let's Defend did some additional feedback to, I think, improve the screen resolutions for the systems in this aspect, because this fits the whole page, which, you know, double thumbs up from having to screw with anything. Oh, okay, we might end up with Sysmon on this. That's good to know. So I guess the big thing is, I mean, do we have a... Well, let's go take a look at this stuff. So we need to find a create.dll, the JS extension, and then we want to take a look at that pre-install bat, everything else like that. So where was this sucker running from? C program files, nodejs, node underscore mod. Okay, yeah, this is the aspect. Node underscore modules. What was it? NPM, node underscore modules for a second time. And then this was us-parser. Node modules, NPM, node modules. Oh, not US, UA. Wait. No, it says US. And all the commands, everything else that we've observed. Okay, no. Underneath process history, it did note node install ua-parser-js. Okay, so I need... I'll dump this into the Discord channel in regards to that this Okay, US needs to be changed to UA. Okay, well, at least we figured out what the heck's going on. Okay, and then per the normal, since this has already gone on, we're kind of late to the party. We have our create, we have our JS extension, and we have our pre-install. So where's our batch file? There's our batch file. So if we go ahead and edit it, this is looking awfully familiar. Curl, create, if not exist, create DLL, wget. Oh, so in the event that curl doesn't work, try wget. If wget doesn't work, try cert-util. I guess so. This is basically run, or this is definitely set up to run on, Linux platforms and Windows. But these are the same commands that we've seen, except of course we had curl actually work. We had cert-util for the first one, and then curl for the second one to pull. Well, no, wait. Oh, okay, right here. Yes. I think they got the timing wrong when they did the command history. I mean, curl's the second line in a script if the pre-install.bat was run. I don't know, that's just weird. Very weird. Okay, virus total. I mean, I get it. The stuff is basically just, I think it's coded for turkey. All right, so first things first, we will dump create in here. It's going to grab it. And while you're doing that, I'm assuming this is open new tabs. Yes, hooray. Okay. There's our JS extension, which this should, okay, same thing, xmrig. And then we've got that pre-install. So I wonder if the pre-install will actually flag anything. Where's there it is. Bad node. bat/coinminer.k. Okay, so we got bad stuff all the way across. And then I'm assuming that it's the DLL that's responsible for the, what was it that the article had said? The credential stealing? I'll go through and make sure that this is the article's included in the notes. I'll take a look at the other one. What is it? The cadet security or whatever it was that was listed in the virus total item. Okay, so as a side note, I mean, we got all these pre-installs. So it looks like the JS goes through, tries to run pre-install.sh. If it finds it's a Windows system, run the pre-install.bat. I'm assuming this is the sh. Open with. Open all the things in Notepad. Yeah, same set of commands, just rewritten in a different way. All right, so let's do this. We have a pre-install.js. We have a pre-install.sh as well. And I've got the hashes for everything as it's been pulled together. So I need to run this 2 more times. So I can denote So we need the JS. Oh, yeah. And of course, the whole aspect of the clipboard. I get it. And I'll just convert it to uppercase. It's fine. And this is all just going to come in handy for later, since these are technically going to be IOC hits that I'll need to procure the MD5 for. So here's our shell file, which it makes detections as well. Okay. Hey, little butt. What's up? No, I'm not calling you guys in the audience who are watching this little butt. That's the nickname I have for my black lab. Yes, assuming I have the noise suppression on, you probably can't hear her, but she's pretty much directly behind me chewing on a giant beef bone. Try to get the marrow out. Oh, bugger all. All right, so we've got all that. There's the clipboard. I've got the hashes for create.dll, JS extension, pre-install bat, pre-install JS, pre-install.sh. So we have, I think, the big portions. And I'll just do a search for the hashes outside of the actual section here. So, okay, we've got all that good stuff. Oh, so I'm going to assume that we're going to be asked once we take ownership and start going through the questions, I'm going to call it now, that we're actually going to get the MITRE attack framework questions on this one. And this will be probably, I think, the only case that we've had thus far, if memory serves me right, about a supply chain compromise, since this would effectively qualify as that. You know, you're an official package got popped, crap was slipped into the back door into the package, and affects Lord knows how many people actually got the package at the time. Oh, realistically, let's see. Oh, crap. Why am I even bothering with system? Or any of these ones? It's one of them rhetorical questions. Although if somebody's actually that far into my mindset, then seek immediate medical attention. Psychological attention. Okay, what do we have? We have stuff for today. No giant shock there. And okay, this is what, 2 minutes before we got the first hits? That's what it looks like. All right, so can I get more space here so this stuff shows up perfectly fine? I wonder if we can just do everything here just from. So this looks like, it's like, okay, I know these are all staged, but effectively, seeing something like this, Sysmon went on just minutes before the system ended up having that bad package installed. Realistically, we wouldn't see that. Well, we would if we looked far enough back, but... Alright, so this looks like just Sysmon doing its thing. And we got Node.js doing its thing. So it's doing the command line JS for NPM. There's the install ua-parser from Node. query name for registry.npmjs.org. There was a set of IOCs for this, wasn't there? There's the IOCs, Sophos, okay. Yes, so did we see, or did they denote that that registration is not considered an IOC, at least according to Sophos? So there's type PNC server. There's the parser. Hey, little butt. Command, okay, there's our first thing. Curl from the 159.148.186.228. All right, so the notes, I grabbed the, what was the start time of this? This was 9:56. Yeah, in the command history, it shows that as 9:57. And again, okay, so you could make the argument, okay, a minute off, effectively, the time was just, on the system was a minute slow or something to that effect. But that is an inconsistency. So we have curl. I have not yet seen the cert util. Curl. Huh. Because all that's just been curl. This is creating the process of the JS extension with the command line. It registers the create. Wait. The whole creation of create.dll. So there's the pre-install.bat. At 9:56:04. So this is like 2 seconds behind. Curl. Curl. So the time and everything does not match up. At least not according to what we have for the command history. Sysmon tells a different story. Sysmon tells us that first we had curl to hit the 159, 148, 186, 228 and pull down the jsextension.exe. Before we again have curl go out to the citations herb.e.at and pull down the DLL file to create the create.dll. I mean, they got the time right, but at least in the command history, it's wrong. They're not using cert util, they're just using curl. Yeah. So JS extension kicking off for xmrig. And we have the reg service or reg server 32 kicking off to actually sit there and silently register create.dll. And then we have DNS queries after that for pool So realistically, assuming that this is inside the network perimeter, we should see some sort of comms out to the minexmr.com. At least you would think. Retro main. Yeah, so she's doing DNS queries. So that would be something else as well. Figuring out process terminates. So what do we got? The system basically shutting down or rebooting, or just down and then back up. Oh, one of the aspects I love about Sysmon. And then we're into January of this year. So this tells something else entirely. I don't see Sysmon picking up that cert util was run, but we do see curl, and we see JS extension before we see create.dll, at least according to this. It's like I have never had to really deal much with Node Package Manager, but I'm assuming it's going to be in the same vein as like apt-get or apt. So command line argument to go through and do that stuff. So Node must maintain a list of repositories as to where to get most of everything. So I don't know, the uninformed or the ignorant opinion that it's like apt, except for node.js. Okay, but I think we've got enough here. So basically, they fired it off. It was already popped. It dropped the coin miner. It dropped DLL. It registered the DLL, which, what did we end up seeing? Sigan, Zusi, Danabot, Trojan.banker, Trojan.banker, even though that's Danabot. Huh, Microsoft Quackbot. Of course, this is also what? Roughly 4 months, give or take, 3 to 4 months after the fact. So I would kind of hope that it would have widespread detection. CrowdStrike doesn't pick it up. Cylance doesn't pick it up. Palo Alto doesn't pick it up. Trend Micro doesn't pick it up. Yeah, and these are reasonably current since I just fed that stuff in there. Oh, goody. Well, I guess since I've got all this, and it's going to probably be easier just to copy and paste that stuff in there so I can grab the MD5s when we move. So, and then I'm assuming persistence is going to be the whole aspect of having registered the DLL file. Since there was no indications of any sort of scheduled task created, anything else like that. But we can take a quick look. Don't really see any sort of evidence of that, but Yeah, so at least anything that would be popped in there. And I would kind of think that sysmon would probably pick up on that aspect. Well, let's see. We can already consider that the box is compromised. So let's see. I need, besides more coffee. All right, so there's that. We want the one for JS extension for the, okay, xmrig. Yes, okay, got that. And then I need for the preinstall.bat. The preinstall.js. And then the preinstall.sh outside of the VNC connection. There. And now I can grab that stuff and be able to cement that all in with the MD5s. Oh, Cato? There, so I can just copy and paste those once we come down to it. Okay, let's take ownership. Let's run through this thing. Ooh, excuse me. I haven't finished my first coffee. It's already 10:30 local time. Okay, let's start the playbook. We've already done the connection. We've already verified that it is a legit alert. It is a true positive. Start the flow. Identify the capabilities. So resource usage for digital coin mining. And then the apparently credential stealer from that Dana bot or the Trojan.banker, however you really want to term it. What type of malware is used in the attack? Oh, so they do bring it up in regards to looking for. Credentials are exfilled to one of several IP addresses, but yet. Oh, right here. But we didn't really see much, at least in reliance to that. But we can assume that that all went the way it was supposed to. So here's the question then. What technically does it count as? It's not a keylogger, because it's basically just stealing the credentials. It's not ransomware. It's not a web shell. Does it really come up to the whole aspect of remote access because all it does is grab data and exfil? So I'm going to say other. Has it been executed? Yes, we saw that from the sysmon, was it regserver32-s create.dll in order to register it. So yes, added to the fact the execution of the JS extension. What is the initial access method used in the attack? Well, for once, finally, supply chain compromise, because this is the official package, just has been modified. Not in transit, not after it had been pulled down on the box. Just they went back up the supply chain to the developer and changed that stuff around. So supply chain. Method of attack and systems used. Well, apparently just our node servers, the one that's affected. It was external to the organization as it was the, you want to quote, technically vendor? Supply chain supplier? Effectively, it was upstream. Because we have actual execution of the Trojan.bank or Danabot or however you want to call it, I'm going to say yes, that any credentials that would be on that thing would have been exfilled, or at least would be considered compromised. Sensitive data at risk? Well, seeing as how it pulls credentials, yeah. Brand reputation impact. If it became public knowledge, sure. But you've got the easy out in terms of, well, I mean, we take security seriously, but this was a event that we could not foresee, due to a lax, vendor mistake, compromise, something along those lines. So summarize. Hi. Boot or auto login, auto start execution. I'm not going to say account manipulation. I'm not going to say create an account. Not going to say none. Not going to say scheduled task / job. Not going to say valid account. So it's kind of split between boot or login, auto start execution, create or modify system process, or server software component. Well, effectively, I was going to say server software component. It's probably going to be wrong, but privilege escalation techniques. Oh, what is it? Local group memberships. So no, there was no need for privilege escalation because you already got local admin. I'm going to assume OS credential dumping given the fact. Does it need to be isolated? Yes. It's already been done. Back up the evidences. So that would be effectively our sysmon log, the entirety of the event log, really. Snapshot of the C program files, nodejs, node_modules, npm, node_modules, that whole ua-parser-js directory would probably need to be grabbed. Everything hashed and just kind of zipped, password protected, and shoved off to the side for later. Eradication. Destroy any malicious file, user, or other suspicious artifacts. Really? I mean, we're just going to nuke and pave this damn thing. Or at least that's what we should be doing. But hey, who am I to say such a thing? I mean, it's already kind of late anyways. JS extension, the create, the pre-installs. I mean, we're just going to nuke and pave this sucker anyways. At least we better. Because stuff be broken. Of course, technically, would I not need the DLL still to be there if I wanted to run the, what is it? Is it reg svr32-u to remove it from the system? Ah, we're going to nuke it anyways. That was effectively the big stuff there. Yeah, because I mean, we've already considered the box popped, so rebuild it and maybe some better. Okay, so how did the cyber attack happen? Effectively, everything was done the way it was supposed to be. This was something that was just done upstream to actually, so supply chain compromise. That would, I don't know, I guess better, maybe better AV, better resource watching. Maybe the stuff on a test server beforehand that basically would be monitored up, for additional DNS requests to basically flag for stuff that would be outside of an established base norm for a Windows server to then have, nodejs and all the rest of the standard stuff put on, looking for something to deviate. But that's going to be more of precursors or indicators. How about staff and management perform? Well, the whole aspect of anything sit there calling cert-util and curl to pull down stuff, regardless as to whether or not if it's, I mean, cert-util has its place, but if it's being used to sit there and pull down files from especially domains or IP addresses that aren't known, that should be setting off red flags. So that's kind of a fail if level 1 just dug through command history and process history. So I put down failing grade, at least on that one, which I think is the first time technically that I would actually give them a failing grade. I mean, I get it. It's like, okay, it's all legit, or at least it should, but if you don't know by now, the valid uses, or when something looks hinky with cert-util or anything else of those lull bins or living off the land binaries, yeah, there's a problem. You should be able to sit there and just kind of do it by gut. But then again, it is what it is. Staff management do differently. More training centered around lull bins. Sit there and catch the command history for the cert-util. Now, granted, Sysmon showed that we just had curl run twice, but I mean, unless there's some sort of exact link for the ua-parser-js and the citations herbe.at domain, or the 159.148.186.228, in order to sit there and pull this stuff down. I mean, that definitely looks like a deviation. Corrective actions. Kind of goes to that whole aspect in terms of, having established baseline, heavy monitoring on DNS or outbound traffic for anything that would be put on. I mean, granted, this whole ua-parser-js has probably been deployed multiple times without any sort of issue, and of course, compromise happens, they get this bad package, but still should be a deviation from what they normally see. Precursors, indicators, well, anything that would be trying to reach out to the, what was it, pool.xmrig.com domain. Any of those Bitcoin miner domains, they should be on watch lists and immediate alerts. probably additional processes or alerting centered around more lull bins. Obviously, stuff whitelisted as it comes through in terms of just to reduce the noise to signal ratio. So stuff that's been proven to be completely legitimate and above board, whitelisted so it doesn't fire the alert. Everything else, flag. You're going to be running around a bit, but effectively as you can tune that sucker better, you'll end up with a nice safety net. Oh goody. With this, we've got a couple of different things. We got 2 URLs. We have technically an IP at the same time. And then we've got how many files? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll grab those in a second. So URL. Databot. Coin miner. And of course the extension from that is we have the IP address of the coin miner, or at least where it was pulled down from. And the rest are all MD5s. So create.dll jsextension.exe preinstall.bat preinstall.js preinstall.sh. Apparently I screwed that up. One click too many. All right, so MD5 for our DLL. And then should be our coin miner. Preinstall.bat. I'm just taking a look to see as to whether or not from the detection for the jsextension.exe, the coin miner, as to whether or not if the contacted IP addresses and virus total match anything that we ended up seeing like from the web history or anything else like that, or from the network connections, and it does not appear to be the case. So I just had a squirrel moment. Okay, JS, that's what we're looking for. And then we got the shell file, or the sh file, depending how you want to look at it. I can't remove it. Okay, what were these? Something else that we had here. New version of malicious DLL packer. Sure. Why not? I mean, I've got the extra one. We managed to find the report, so. So I don't know as to whether or not if it will take that, but. ua-parser-js. It's compromised. Reinstall. To the downloading and running of a coin miner and a Dinaboit. I don't have the most detailed notes, and I probably screwed up the wording on it, or the spelling of a few words, but starting to reach that point where it's day off, so I don't have the best impulse control in regards to slow down, look through everything. You just want to go, 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 go. But obviously, sit there and be able to show everything, explain thought process, everything else like that. We gotta slow it down. All right. True positive. So how bad did I screw up? Well, okay, not bad. Don W loading. Yay. Well, we apparently got it right. Apparently I got the wrong credential access technique and the wrong persistence. And it does have a write-up. Or maybe it doesn't. Because I think that they've... hit. Well, there's not a write-up for it yet, apparently. Okay, well... I guess this will be this will end up being the first official write-up, or I guess technically video, but so I guess technically if you go through this stuff and you happen to see these things, I'd love to know as to if you get these right, what you ended up picking in terms of credential access technique, and then much less the persistent mechanism, because a lot of the stuff it just basically seems like just a straight out and out, guess for the most part. But so wait. Editor's note. So they do have an official. You just have to look for it. Analysis is still required, yeah, which we kind of figured. It did the same exact thing, so the JS extension hash, run it through VT, get the number of hits, see that it's a coin miner. Yep, for the command line, they ran the install from as the let's defend user. What was the persistence? Oh no, they just denote that when they look in the security logs of the account being taken over, they don't see anything. Take a look there, and then they're denoting same thing, sysmon for node pre-install.js shortly after the npm install process, which we observed, which then pretty much kicks out to the pre-install.bat, which we end up seeing all this stuff kick out. So they just, Portswagger and a bunch of other people have gone through and talked in regards to it. Denotes that it's supply chain compromise. So at least we're in the, or we got that portion all right. JS picks up, so if it's Linux terminal, run the pre-install.sh. Otherwise, if it's confirmed Windows, run the pre-install.bat, which, again, we observe that. We see the activity to pull down the coin miner with curl, which so far is okay. Do they actually show a screenshot of that? Yes, they do. So even in the official write-up, they denote pulling the JS extension, the coin miner, at 9:56 and 4 seconds. At least according to Sysmon, so they've got it in front of them. And they got the aspect about the DLL being pulled down at 09:56 and 26 seconds, which they've got the time right, at least underneath the command history, but they show the wrong thing, because they're showing, okay, so I'll keep this open. I'll give feedback in regards to this, because realistically it should be updated to actually show what happened, as opposed to what one of the other lines were, especially if it's going to be in the official write-up. But these things happen. And I don't understand, so they show the attack flow, but here they point out the cert util. I'm assuming they probably pulled this from one of the write-ups in regards to everything it had gone through, and not so much have it 100% tailored to the environment, the exercise environment that we just went through. Because again, we follow the same type of path, the npm install ua-parser-js. We get the node pre-install.js, and then obviously the execution of the pre-install.bat. And then we get the aspect of the curl, and instead of cert util, it should have been curl, at least according to Sysmon. I mean, I get it, why reinvent the wheel? But unfortunately, this I think would qualify as a mistake that should be raised up. So if they're going to, oh God, so either they would have to change the official write-up, which, I mean, if they've got everything here, it wouldn't be that difficult to change that and a couple of log entries. Otherwise, they would have to sit there, take the VM down, restage everything, and then figure out some way in order to get the curl not to work and force it to actually do the cert. Oh God. Yeah, just I think changing the log files is going to be easier in the official write-up in that case, but again, mistakes happen. I'm not sitting there trying to drag these guys in regards to this stuff. In no way, shape, or form. So do they have impact, resource hijacking, defense evasion? Isn't there supposed to be an aspect here? So they don't have anything highlighted in terms of persistence for this aspect. So then I guess persistence technically then would have been none as the appropriate answer. Of course, the other aspect too, they have exfil. But then again, so many days later, there might not have been an actual chance for there to be any observed. Of course, it went, what, for a few minutes afterwards, and then it was turned off and then cycled back on for January 11th or something like that. Don't I still have it up? Yeah, so October 28th. And then we go all the way into January 11th, 2022. But yeah, so it was up for about 20 minutes, give or take. Okay. Good enough. Let's get this terminated so that's not running up their hosting bill. So there we go. I'll grab a couple of the articles to basically dump in for the notes so you guys can peruse at your own speed if you have interest. Otherwise, this has been SOC158 Hijacked NPM package for October 28th, 2021, 0955, EventID 108. And with all that being said, I will see everybody in the next video.